Well, soon, Gaza and Israel are going to be all over the news again, because, after 12 p.m. on Saturday, Israel will start bombing Gaza again, just like everyone feared. So, let's break down in simple terms what's going on with Gaza and what's going to happen soon. As you probably know, the war between Hamas and Israel has been going on for a really long time, but even today, many Israeli civilians are still being held hostage by Hamas in Gaza. Even though Israel has pretty much destroyed Gaza, but there are still some Israeli people trapped there, and Israel hasn't been able to free them. At one point, there was some talking between Israel and Hamas, and there was a temporary ceasefire, with a few Israeli hostages being released. But as we know, that wasn't a real solution. Hamas would release 1 or 2 Israeli hostages, then go back to planning more attacks on Israel. But now, with Donald Trump becoming the president of the US, and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu not being in favor of any ceasefire, things are about to get even bigger. The truth is, Israel is now fully backed by the US and Donald Trump, and there's no resistance anymore. You might even see Israel hypothetically drop a nuclear bomb on Gaza or Palestine. And don't be shocked if the US justifies it, saying it was necessary. Here's what's happening now. Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu are each making statements where they give Hamas a final ultimatum. They're telling them that before 12 p.m. on Saturday, they need to release all the Israeli hostages Hamas has taken, or else Gaza will be turned into hell. Please watch this short clip and listen to what Donald Trump is saying.
Well, I would say this, and I'm going to let that be because that's Israel's decision, but as far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out. I'd say they ought to be returned by 12 o'clock on Saturday, and if they're not returned, all of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2. Saturday at 12 o'clock, and after that, I would say all hell is going to break out.
So, all hell is going to break out. Then, listen to Benjamin Netanyahu's statement too.
היא תושלם בזמן הקרוב ביותר. ההחלטה שהעברתי בקבינט פה אחד היא זאת. אם חמאס לא יחזיר את חטופינו עד שבת בצהריים, הפסקת האש תיפסק, וצה"ל יחזור ללחימה עצימה עד להכרעה סופית של החמאס.
So, after Saturday at 12 p.m., bombing in Gaza will start again because it doesn't seem like Hamas is going to listen to the US or Israel. Once the bombing starts, the international media will set up camp there again. But this time, Gaza is going to be in worse shape than before because Donald Trump is the most pro-Israel US leader ever, and now there's no stopping Israel from doing whatever it wants. Well, to be very honest, Israel doesn't need safety or defense anymore. Now, Israel just wants expansion. It's going to try to change the map of the Middle East and make a greater Israel. Also, the US, or I should say Donald Trump, have some bigger plans for Gaza. Trump wants to turn Gaza into a US overseas territory. I've already made a video on this before, but yeah, Trump is probably thinking of building a bunch of Trump towers in Gaza. Just kidding. But we're about to hear a lot about Gaza soon. We've already seen Trump invite the King of Jordan to the US for long talks. And during these talks, Trump softly threatened the King of Jordan, Abdullah II. Basically, Trump told him he's going to have to permanently house Gaza's people in Jordan, whether on the mainland or just at the border. The King of Jordan hasn't commented directly on this yet, but most likely, he won't have much of a choice but to accept Trump's proposal. Sadly, he has no other options because Trump has a lot of leverage, like US aid, security, and military power. Jordan can't really say no to the US. The same thing applies to Egypt. So soon, we're about to see even more horrific scenes from Gaza. But we'll also have to see if Iran reacts to these actions by the US and Israel, like they did before. Will Iran carry out true promise 3 inches or not? We'll have to wait and see. But in all this, it's the people of Gaza who will suffer the most. They won't be able to live peacefully in Gaza, and now they won't be able to live peacefully anywhere else where they might be forcefully relocated. The future looks really bleak for the people of Gaza. So, what do you think of Israel and the US right now? Are they doing the right thing? Or should world leaders come together and call out Israel and the US for what they're doing?